Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cracking open a passage you sent us, Genesis 16, verses 10 to 15.
Right. It's a section that might seem a bit peripheral sometimes, but it's incredibly rich. We're looking at it through the lens of some material called Hagar's God, Elroy and Ishmael's Destiny.
Yeah, focusing on Hagar, an Egyptian servant, often kind of overlooked, but her story here, wow, it's packed with insights about divine compassion, human resilience.
Absolutely. It's this really remarkable encounter she has with the angel of the Lord out there in the wilderness.
So our mission today is to kind of unpack that. We want to dig into the Hebrew nuances, the, unexpected ironies, and the real comfort that's woven into this moment.
It's a very human story.
Totally. We're aiming to explore what it really means to feel seen, to feel heard, especially when you feel invisible. I think you'll find some real aha moments here.
It definitely speaks to that universal feeling of being an outsider, doesn't it? That longing for recognition.
It really does. Okay, so let's dive in. Genesis 16. We find Hagar. She's fled from Abram and Sarai's household. She's Egyptian, she's pregnant, she's alone in the desert. Pretty desperate situation.
Yeah, completely marginalized and outcast, really.
And then right there, she gets this divine promise. What's so striking, so sort of unexpected about this particular promise?
Well, the angel tells her, I will surely multiply your offspring so that they cannot be numbered for multitude. And the Hebrew there, it uses this emphatic structure.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a doubled infinitive. Harba arba. It literally translates to something like, multiplying, I will multiply. It's just as absolute certainty and, well, vastness, abundant.
Multiplying, I will multiply. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Haven't we heard that kind of language before in Genesis?
Exactly. That's the kicker. This is the same style of promise with that same linguistic punch that God gave to Abram himself about his descendants.
Wow, okay.
So the text is deliberately drawing a parallel. It's like it's saying God's promises are, spilling over. They're not just confined to the main covenant line people expected.
They're reaching an outsider.
Yeah.
A servant, Hagar.
Yes. Which is pretty radical. It challenges our assumptions about who gets blessed, who God pays attention to. It really broadens the scope of divine compassion right there.
Okay, so from that huge, almost cosmic promise, the focus then shifts. It becomes very personal, right?
Yeah.
About her pregnancy, naming her son. How does that connect?
It connects directly back to her immediate experience. The angel commands her, you shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has listened to your affliction.
Ishmael.
Ishmael in Hebrew. It means God hears. So the name itself is a direct answer, a testament to her suffering being acknowledged by God. It's embedded right into her son's identity.
So her suffering, her affliction, that's anyok in Hebrew, from the root ana.
That's the one.
That very suffering becomes the reason for the name. It's like pain transformed.
Precisely. And here's where the language gets really clever, almost poetic. Earlier in the chapter, remember, it says Sarai afflicted Hagar.
Right.
It uses that exact same Hebrew root, ana. So the word used for Sarai's harsh treatment is now flipped. God hears her affliction. The vocabulary shifts from human oppression to divine attention, divine compassion.
That's incredible. It's like a subtle redemption built right into the words themselves.
It really is. It shows how God meets her right where she is, turning the language of her pain into a sign of his listening presence.
Amazing. Okay, so let's move on to Ishmael's destiny, verse 12. This part can sound a bit, jarring. He shall be a wild donkey of a man. What are we supposed to make of that? It doesn't sound very flattering.
Yeah, it's easy to misread that through modern eyes.
Yeah.
The Hebrew is Pir Adam. Now, Pir is the wild donkey, the onager, native to the desert.
Okay.
And these animals were known for being, stubborn, fiercely independent, untamable. They couldn't be easily broken or controlled.
So it's not meant as an insult, like calling someone an ass?
Not really, no. It's more a description of his character and destiny. He's going to be free-roaming, independent, resistant to constraints, living life on his own terms, basically. It speaks to a kind of rugged resilience.
Right, a survivor's spirit.
Yeah.
And the verse continues, his hand against everyone, and everyone's hand against him, and he shall dwell over against all his kinsmen.
Exactly. And that phrase, dwell over against, it's alpanei in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Literally, before the face of, or in the presence of.
What does that imply? A constant conflict?
It suggests a life perhaps marked by tension, maybe some restlessness, living adjacent to, but distinct from his relatives.
Yeah.
But crucially, it doesn't mean he'll be wiped out or assimilated.
Okay.
It actually points to his persistence, his survival. He will maintain his own identity, his own space, even if it involves friction. He won't be forgotten or crushed. It's a prediction of endurance.
Holding his own, yeah. Which brings us to maybe the most powerful moment in this whole passage. Hagar names God.
Yes. This is truly extraordinary.
I mean, how often does that happen in Scripture? Someone giving God a name.
It's unique in this way. Hagar declares, so she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her, "You are El Roi."
El Roi.
El Roi. You are the God who sees me. Just pause on that. Hagar, the Egyptian servant, invisible, mistreated, fleeing for her life. She is the one who gives God this incredibly personal title, born directly out of her own experience of being seen in her despair.
It's like a cry of relief almost. Finally, someone sees me. God sees me.
Yeah, exactly. The ultimate validation when she felt completely unseen. And then she asks this question, which the translation captures as, have I even here seen after him who sees me? Sounds a little complex.
It does. What's the feel of the Hebrew there? Hagam halom aiti harararo.
Yeah, it conveys this sense of sheer astonishment, utter disbelief almost.
Yeah.
It's like she's saying, wait, seriously, me, here, in this horrible place, did I actually just have an encounter? Did I just glimpse the one who sees me?
Like she can hardly believe such a thing is possible for someone like her.
Precisely. It underlines the magnitude of the moment for her, the wonder that the God who sees everything would personally see her, the forgotten servant in the middle of nowhere. It captures that feeling of being truly, unexpectedly, profoundly known.
Wow. That sense of being seen. It's so powerful. And this encounter doesn't just vanish, right? It leaves a mark on the place itself.
It absolutely does. The very next verse says, therefore the well was called Bir Lahai Roi.
Bir Lahai Roi. And that means?
Lai Lai Roi. It translates beautifully as the well of the living one who sees me.
So the well itself becomes a monument to this moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just a source of water anymore. It's a landmark, a preaching point, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Every time someone came to that well, the name itself would remind them of Hagar's story.
Her testimony.
Her testimony of being seen by the living God. It ensures her experience isn't forgotten, but remembered, literally etched into the landscape. It gives her a voice that lasts.
What an incredible way to preserve that memory. And the story wraps up with Ishmael's birth. How does the text handle that final part?
It says, Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son, whom Hagar bore, Ishmael. There are a couple of key things here.
Okay.
First, notice Hagar obeyed the angel. She was told to name him Ishmael, and implicitly she does, because Abram then affirms that God-given name. Her obedience shows her agency, her acceptance of this divine encounter.
Right. She didn't just hear it, she acted on it.
Yeah.
And does the Hebrew emphasize her role again?
It does, subtly but powerfully. The phrase Yalla Hagar, Hagar bore is repeated. It keeps her central to the action of birth.
Despite everything Sarai tried to do to erase her significance.
Exactly. The narrative refuses to sideline her. It insists on her role or agency. And the child's name Ishmael, God hears, stands as this permanent reminder. It forever witnesses that God heard her cry in the wilderness.
It's a beautiful conclusion to her encounter. Okay, so let's pull back a bit. We've seen the promise, the name, the destiny, Hagar naming God. What are the big takeaways when you put all these pieces together?
Well, you see this incredible reversal playing out. Remember how Sarai afflicted Hagar? God responds not by mirroring that affliction, but with this overwhelming promise of multiplication. Harbo. God hears Ishma, her cry, hence Ishmael's name, and ultimately God sees Roi her, leading to her naming him El Roi.
Affliction, multiplication, hearing, seeing.
Right. It shows God engaging with the outsider, the one on the margins, just as profoundly, perhaps even more intimately in this moment than with the established patriarch, Abram. It demonstrates that his compassion isn't fenced in, it overflows, even into the desert, reaching those you'd least expect.
And the way the Hebrew language itself seems to weave these themes together, the wordplay, the puns you mentioned.
It's truly remarkable linguistic artistry. Affliction becomes hearing. Invisibility becomes sight. It drives home the central message. The living God isn't blind or deaf to those who feel forgotten or pushed aside.
He is Ishmael, the God who hears. He is El Roi, the God who sees.
Precisely. It's a powerful statement about God's character as personal attention to every individual, no matter their social standing or situation.
And that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We've walked through Hagar's story, this incredible journey from being an invisible outcast to someone who encounters God so profoundly she actually names him. It's such a powerful picture of what it means to be truly seen and heard.
It really is. And it's a reminder, isn't it, that perhaps no one is ever truly invisible. As you, listening, go about your life, maybe take a moment to think, What does being seen and heard mean for you?
Yeah.
Where are those places, those moments where you feel truly recognized? What might be your personal Bir Lahai Roy?
And maybe your final thought to leave you with, how does Hagar's experience challenge any assumptions we might have about who God pays attention to or where divine compassion shows up? And what does her story tell us about the power we find when we can name our own experiences of being truly seen?
Lots to think about there. A testament to a God who sees, even in the wilderness.